Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your morning send off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So, today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune when you long for financial security. I know that this is a topic that is relevant for a lot of people out there. And, I am very mindful about what I expose myself to in social media and in the news because, gosh, there's so much out there that can really be very triggering. And my personal philosophy is I want to take care of my mental spaces and my emotional spaces so that in caring for them and being very mindful about what I allow and invite into the space of my awareness, I can continue to be as much of a contribution to other people's lives rather than to let my spaces get filled up with things that are scary and could really just, distract me from the higher principles that I always look to for guidance. And so, with that in mind, I still keep an eye on current events. And something that's been standing out for me lately in the news are mentions of people becoming food insecure, housing insecure. There's certainly health insecurity with everything that's going on. And so I know that there's a lot out there about strategies and how-to tactics about how to feel secure and how to be safe in the physical world. And what I wanted to do was to offer what I really rely upon through the principles that we explore here about receiving in the inner world around how to nurture security, specifically financial security. Although the principles that apply to financial security are the principles that apply to all security. So if this is something that speaks to you, a couple things I want to share about today's Rise and Receive. I'm going to read a card that I pulled from the Receive card deck, which I do each morning for Rise and Receive. And I will send you off on your day with a willingness mantra that can really support you around security in general. However, today in particular, I felt inspired to share my own personal story around financial security and do a deeper dive. So this might be a longer Rise and Receive, and you're welcome to stay beyond the willingness mantra. And of course, if it's too long, if you got to get back to work, it will be recorded here and available on YouTube. All right. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I am passionate about teaching people the very real world skill set of receiving. The reason I'm so passionate about it is I have found that most people don't know how to receive. Most people don't actually even know what receiving is. We think it's about getting, we think it's about achieving or acquiring, but it's not. It's actually about experiencing. It's about a relationship with life that moves through you so that you are able to welcome the kindness of life in any given moment. But what most people do is because we don't know how to receive, and what instead we know is how to do. So I illuminate the being model of power and the doing model of power. We work hard. We have faith in the hard work ethic. We do a lot of thinking, problem solving, strategizing, and take a whole bunch of action in pursuit of those things that we want in life. And then when they don't arrive, when we still find our fulfillment eluding us because we don't know how to receive our fulfillment, what do? We do more of what we know. We return to doing and more doing. So what that does is it makes receiving very difficult. Hard work, a lot of struggle, and not very fulfilling. And then if you actually do receive the thing you wanted, many times that feeling of fulfillment is fleeting. And that points to that receiving is not about getting. Fulfillment is not about achieving. These are feelings. So we tap into the power and the wisdom of feeling and being, which most people just don't know anything about that. So that's what I am passionate about illuminating here. So as I said, each day I pull one card from my brand new Receive card deck, which is designed to help you learn how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. And then I let the message inspire the message from the card inspired the Rise and Receive message. So I invite you to sit back now. Let these words wash over you. If you like, close your eyes. The words tend to go deeper. And there will be a link included to another video I also did on this card, so you can really tap into today's wisdom that way. So here's today's card. Receive availability. Receive availability. So I'm going to read you the card, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what this has to do with inviting good fortune when you long for financial security. Here we go. I am here for you. This is the voice of availability. Availability is a core need which, when nurtured, eases struggle and expands your capacity to receive. How is this so? The answer lies in the last two words of availability's voice. I am here for you. For you. This means that when someone or something is available to you, you are the most important being in that time and space. You are the one being received with love and safety. Your words are received. Your body is received. Your feelings are received. Your needs are received. You are witnessed. You are heard. You know you matter. You are important. As your need for availability is nurtured, life's goodness becomes more available to you. This is the way of receiving. Life shows you reflections of your inner world. If your need for availability is unmet, you will struggle if you believe that the outer world is the only place to find it. But if you begin to explore how it is that availability begins in your relationship with you, you will begin to unlearn this struggle. When you need availability, if another can't provide it, then take a breath or two and pause. Turn your attention within, close your eyes, and ask, how do I need to show up for myself? Listen and trust the answer that arises. As spiritual beings in a physical experience, availability usually yearns for physical presence. And so being available for yourself often requires a connection with your body. Consider being in nature, even if only to step outside and feel your lungs breathe deeply. Go for a walk and feel your feet meet the ground with each step. Or simply change the position of your body. If you've been sitting, stand up or lay down on the floor. As you feel your body, you will feel yourself become more available to you. So that's the Receive Availability card. And here's your mantra for the day. I am willing to receive nurturing by being available for myself. I am willing to receive nurturing by being available for myself. So, if you feel disconnected from yourself, like you're really just running around, worrying, thinking, doing, busy, if you are longing for financial security, for any kind of security, use this mantra. I am willing to receive nurturing. I'm going to read this exactly the way I wrote it here. I'm willing to receive nurturing by being available for myself. So, what does this have to do with security? So let me talk a little bit more about what security is, financial security or any kind of security. Security is a feeling. It's a feeling, which is why even if we want money, need money, and then ultimately find a way to get money, you can get money all day long in different ways. You can find solutions if you're wanting money. Sometimes we need money, sometimes we don't. Many times we don't need money when we feel the desire for financial security or the desire for money, because in our minds and in our bodies, Our minds are thinking about lack. We're projecting into the future. And our bodies are feeling the feeling of insecurity. It's a feeling. So what is the feeling of security? It's the feeling of that you get when you experience safe presence. There's a presence that's here for you, like the card said. There's a certain predictability and permanence. So presence, predictability, and permanence that is available for you, that you can return to. And so this word available is essential because it's about you knowing that there's a place of safety and care available for you. And here's the key word: when you need it. When you need it. You can just turn and it's there. You go and it's there. It's just there. It's just there. Predictable presence, permanent for you. This is availability. Okay. Now, one of the things that really can change your experience of receiving security is an understanding that there is predictable, safe, permanent presence for you all the time. You simply take it for granted. That's what we do. We take our security for granted. Okay, now, part of this is simply the way we're wired as human beings. The mind is designed to solve problems, to see problems, to look at things through the lens of problem solving. Okay, so it's kind of like a toothache. When your teeth feel great, you don't think about them. When your tooth hurts, you think about it. When you have a headache, you think about it. When you have a healthy feeling head, when your head feels great, you don't think about it. Okay, same with security. When you have security, you take it for granted because it's just there. It's available. If you are among the vast majority of people who can breathe without thinking, you take air for granted. Okay, you don't hoard it. You don't put it in the bank so that you know you'll have a nest egg of air should there not be any. You don't feel insecure about it. I realize that there's some people that this won't apply to, but for most people, we take breathing and air for granted. We take our body's health for granted. We walk around able to move our mobility for granted. We take security for granted. So if you long for financial security, know this: you can never get enough money to feel financially secure. You can get enough money to soften the sense of insecurity. You know, we all have sort of like this threshold about what's tolerable for us. And believe me, I work with people who have 8-figure net worths and people who are living check to check. And what's fascinating is it's not about the number of zeros in the bank account. Everyone has their set point around where they feel secure and insecure. But consciousness creates your reality. So if your attention is focused on where you feel lack, you get triggered because your bank account went a certain way, or you lost your job, or you didn't get a payment that you were expecting. Something triggers that sense of insecurity. In that moment, your greatest power is to notice that you're reacting. And instead of trying to fix it, which is what the mind wants to do, that's the doing model of power, you stop and you become available for you. You turn within, you breathe, you connect with yourself, just like the card talks about with your body. And then look for, and this is the powerful practice of availability and security, look for the things that you take for granted and start giving thanks for it. So what I have done in the past, and I'll tell you more of my personal story in a moment, is I walk outside and I give thanks for the predictability and the abundance and the safety and the permanence of air to breathe. When I walk, the predictability, permanence, and presence of the ground beneath my feet, the leaves in the tree, in the trees. There is security available to you all the time. Okay. the security of having a car in your carport if you have one, the security of a certain friend, whatever it is, just look for the security that you take for granted. Give thanks for it. And here's the key: receive it fully. You receive it by experiencing it in your body. You don't just say, oh, I'm counting my blessings. That's a great place to start. But then receiving is something that moves through our bodies. It's an experience. We let it move through us because security is a feeling. Fulfillment is a feeling. Take a moment to really let it in. Breathe it in. Give thanks. And then this is the power of receiving invitation. Thank you for the security of the ground beneath my feet. Thank you for the security of the leaves, in the predictability and the abundance of the leaves in the tree, the air that I breathe. I receive this fully. How does it get even better than this? What else is possible now? I am willing. These are all invitations. I am willing to receive the security in ways better than I ever imagined possible. This and more. This and more. Okay, so that is something you can practice. And then I felt it was important to share my personal story because I know for myself, a long time ago, I decided that the teachers that I really trusted and wanted to follow were not ones who just spoke in terms of theory, but who shared their personal stories. This is one of the reasons that although I'm a trained social worker, I could have gone the counseling route. I decided I really wanted to become a coach because I wanted the freedom to share my personal stories as part of my teachings. And so what I offer you today is not just a nice idea. It's not just something that I read in a book. It's something that I have practiced. I practice everything I preach. And so one of the times that I really got to practice this in depth, and I know that now I'm talking about this with a smile on my face, and isn't this awesome? But I understand the panic, the anxiety, and the fear of financial insecurity. When, let me see, this would now be 10 years ago, I found myself going through a series of back-to-back hardships where really what was happening is that pretty much all physical world manifestations or symbols of security were falling away. So my mother had cancer for 4 years. I took care of her. And that was incredibly intense and challenging until she passed. After she passed, I thought, okay, now I'll be able to claim my life back and be able to just really settle into that sense of security with my family. Well, I found myself in a contentious legal dispute over home and assets. That bound up a lot of the financial security that I thought I could count on for the future. My marriage ended unexpectedly, and I found myself, after everything was said and done, a single mother of twins running my own business. And for years, I lived with anxiety and the insecurity of not knowing what the cash flow was going to be like, because that's the life of an entrepreneur. And I battled between, do I give up my entrepreneurial job and get a 9-to-5 job, or my entrepreneurial path and work, which is my life's dream and affords me all of this freedom to be there for my kids, available for them the way I wanted to in alignment with my vision? Or do I sacrifice that and get a 9-to-5 job that has a predictable income? And boy, did I think about giving up on all of this many times. But every time I would look at the job boards, I thought, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Every part of my being just couldn't go there. Not to mention that it just was unacceptable to no longer be available for my kids as their single mom. So I had to keep showing up for myself in my anxiety, in my panic. And every time I would pay the bills, the money came in, I'd pay the bills, and then I'd go down to zero. And I was like, okay, where's the money going to come from? I knew there was always money coming, but that sense of security was not there. This went on for years. And this is where I really dove deep into the consciousness of prosperity, the consciousness of security, really this idea, and this is very important when people are focusing on money. There is one source and infinite channels. So I started to unlearn making external world things my source of money, like a sale, like a credit card, like Oh, I don't know. Unemployment, which I just did maternity leave. That's the only unemployment I ever did. But, whether it was a job, whether it was, some other type of support, I started to turn away from all of those things because none of that gave me a sense of security. Those were all channels. And I started to explore how there was one source, which was life. Life itself was the source of not just financial security, but all security. And I started to look at how secure I was, how much abundance there was in terms of friends, in terms of emotional support, in terms of all kinds of wisdom out there on the internet and programs and services and the school, just so much. But here's the key. I had to be willing to train my awareness. In the absence of looking for answers out there, we must turn within and practice the receiving muscle of awareness. Awareness is the first place that we receive. And through that journey, not only did my business grow and thrive and flourish, my clients were receiving success stories or testimonials that they could make from the results of these teaching in ways better than I could have ever imagined when I was really at my most challenged. All kinds of dreams coming true in terms of my kids manifesting college tuition and everyone being safe and happy and being able to just really make some dreams come true. I found love again. I resolved all kinds of things that were challenging from the past, a lot of healing. But all of that came from turning within because the answers are not out there. Life provides. Life is the source, but it provides you through channels that are unexpected and expected. And this is where I came to know in the depths of my being, life always offers kindness. At first, it's a leap of faith. You show up for yourself. You be available for yourself. But eventually, that leap of faith, if you keep showing up for yourself, rewires your entire consciousness. It trains your brain. It trains your nervous system. And you start to relax into a sense of peace and security because you start to really see that life always offers kindness. Yes, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And the suffering and the struggle that many of us struggle with by trying to control the world softens as you become the safest place, the most predictable place, the most permanent place in your relationship with you. You become availability for you. So I hope that this inspires you. It gives you strength, hope, and a place to go when you're feeling that longing for financial security or otherwise. No matter what's happening in the outer world, there is true power. You can't control the outer world, but there's true power within. It's available to you. It's just about learning how to tap into it. Okay, so if this was helpful to you, if you're thinking about friends that need to hear this message, please please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. If you're on YouTube, please click the red subscribe button. You'll be notified of any other time I release a new video. And if you would like to take some next steps to keep nurturing these concepts within you, tap into your true power as you release the struggle of trying to control that which cannot be controlled, then I invite you to consider 2 resources. I'll include the links above and below. The Receive Card Deck, just go to receivecarddeck.com. That's coming out in the new year, and you can join the early bird list to be notified when it's available for pre-orders. And you can also explore ReceiveChallenge.com. It's a 30-day challenge where I challenge you to show up for yourself, to be available for yourself 15 minutes a day. You receive an email, press play, and I guide you every step of the way on how to create space in which to receive. So have a great day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive.